Have you ever wondered why some illnesses stay with us for years, even when doctors prescribe the strongest medicines? Why two people can face the same condition, but while one recovers quickly, the other suffers endlessly? Yogananda once said something most people are not ready to hear. Every disease begins first in the consciousness, before it appears in the body. At first glance, this may sound unbelievable, but think about how many times you have noticed that when you're stressed, your body becomes tense, or when you hold on to anger, you feel it burning inside you. These are tiny hints of a much bigger truth. To Yogananda, the body was not separate from the mind or the soul. He taught that the physical body is like a faithful servant, silently carrying the hidden burdens of our thoughts, emotions, and unresolved karma. And when these inner weights grow too heavy, the servant breaks down to what we call disease. But here's the part that is even more shocking. Yogananda revealed that illnesses do not come as punishments, but as messages. They are signals, sometimes whispers, sometimes loud alarms, meant to awaken us to what lies unresolved within us. This means that every ache, every recurring illness, every incurable condition might actually carry a hidden spiritual lesson. And yet, Yogananda was not a prophet of doom. He also revealed a path of hope. He showed that just as negative thoughts can create weakness, powerful thoughts can restore vitality. Just as hidden karma can bring suffering, conscious effort can dissolve that karma and heal not only the body but the soul. In this video, we are going to explore Yogananda's hidden teachings on the spiritual cause of diseases, why illnesses appear, how karma is often involved, and most importantly, how true healing begins when we address the soul. So stay with me until the end, because what you are about to hear may completely change the way you look at your health and your life. To truly understand Yogananda's wisdom, let us begin with his own life, because he himself knew the pain of illness. From childhood, Yogananda, then known as Mukunda, suffered from weak digestion. No matter how much medicine he took, his body remained thin, fragile, and easily exhausted. Long travels left him aching. Even simple efforts drained him of energy. In college, his room often looked less like a student's quarters and more like a pharmacy, filled with tonics, supplements, and strength-giving medicines. Yet none of them worked. Deep inside, Mukunda carried a quiet fear. Can I really follow the spiritual path with such a weak body? Will my health always hold me back? This fear grew into a hidden sense of inferiority. He compared himself with others, and each time he saw someone stronger, a silent thought would rise. Perhaps I am not fit for this life. One day, while he sat on the veranda of his guru's ashram, these thoughts weighed heavily on his heart. His guru, Sri Yukteswar, suddenly looked at him with piercing eyes and said, "Mukunda, you look very thin and weak today." Startled, Yogananda realized his guru had read his unspoken thoughts. With a sigh, he confessed, "Yes, Gurudev, I too dislike this frail body. My digestion has troubled me since childhood, and no medicine has cured it. Sometimes I wonder if I will ever be strong." Sri Yukteswar smiled gently. "Mukunda," he said, "you give too much power to disease. Medicines can only go so far. The real cause of your illness is not in your stomach, it is in your mind. You see yourself as weak, and so your thoughts have become weak. Your thoughts have become your illness." Yogananda was stunned. Could it be that he was creating his own sickness through belief alone? Sri Yukteswar continued, "The body is nothing but the mind made visible. If you believe you are strong and healthy, and if you hold that conviction with unshakable faith, your body will obey. You will soon become what you believe." That moment was a turning point for Yogananda. His guru's words sank deep into his soul. He realized that the weakness he carried for years was not just physical, it was a reflection of the beliefs he had nurtured in silence. And now, for the first time, he saw a door opening, a path where healing was not just a matter of pills and treatments, but of transforming consciousness itself. Sri Yukteswar leaned closer and explained a truth that would forever change Yogananda's life. Mukunda, the body is not an isolated machine. It is woven directly out of the fabric of your mind. Every cell is sustained by thought. Every organ listens to the commands of your beliefs. If you constantly affirm weakness, the body obeys. If you cultivate strength and vitality, the body reshapes itself to that conviction. This was not just philosophy, it was a direct challenge to everything Yogananda had believed. He had spent years relying on medicines, hoping for a cure from the outside. But his guru was now telling him, the cure begins inside. The body is an extension of the mind, and the mind itself is a spark of the infinite consciousness of God. Sri Yukteswar continued, thoughts are not just shadows in the brain. They are forces, living energies. A thought repeated with intensity can reshape the very structure of your body. And just as positive thought brings vitality, negative thought, fear, or self-pity poisons the body little by little. He then shared his own experience. Once, after suffering from typhoid, Sri Yukteswar had become weak, unable to meditate deeply. He went to his guru, Lahi Mahasaya, and confessed his condition. Lahi looked at him and said calmly, you made yourself ill by believing in weakness, and you can just as easily make yourself well by believing in strength. At first, Sri Yukteswar could hardly believe it, but he trusted his guru. That very night, he held one thought firmly, I am strong. I am filled with divine energy. By morning, he felt vitality flooding through his body. He was lighter, fresher, and stronger than he had been in months. But here's the fascinating part. The very next day, when fear crept into his mind, what if I become sick again? His body responded instantly. The weakness returned, and it was only then that Lahi Mahasaya explained, do you see? Your health rises and falls with your thoughts. The body is not the master. The mind is. But even the mind must be guided. Fill it with faith, with positive conviction, and you can transform illness into strength. Let it fall into doubt, and disease will follow. For Yogananda, hearing this was like thunder breaking the sky. All his life, he had thought of the body as a victim of chance, of genes, of diet, of environment. Now he realized, the mind is the invisible hand that shapes the body every single day. After listening to his guru's words, Yogananda sat in silence. A lifetime of weakness, of medicines, of disappointment weighed on his heart. And yet, in that moment, he felt a spark, a possibility he had never allowed himself to believe. Could I truly heal myself, simply by changing the way I think? That night, he decided to put his guru's teaching into practice. He sat quietly, closed his eyes, and repeated again and again, I am strong. I am healthy. I am filled with the power of God. My body is light, radiant, and whole. At first, his mind resisted. Old memories rose, times of exhaustion, times when medicines failed, times when he felt ashamed of his frail body. But Yogananda pressed on. With each repetition, he put more feeling, more conviction, into the words. And slowly, something shifted. Instead of weakness, he began to feel energy flowing through him. Subtle at first, like a gentle current, and then stronger, like a stream of light awakening every cell. For the first time in years, he felt the possibility of health in his very bones. Within days, he noticed small changes. His digestion began to improve. His body no longer felt drained after little effort. His eyes, once sunken, carried a new brightness. And as his faith deepened, his strength grew. In just 2 weeks, the transformation was undeniable. The same Yogananda who had once been frail and dependent on tonics now stood with vitality and confidence. The illness that had haunted him since childhood seemed to vanish like mist under the morning sun. Years later, when he wrote Autobiography of a Yogi, Yogananda reflected on this moment as one of the great turning points of his life. He realized that his guru had not merely given him advice, he had given him the key to unlocking the hidden power of thought. From that point on, Yogananda carried a new conviction. The body may struggle, but the soul is stronger. And when the mind aligns with the soul, no illness can stand against it. Yogananda's personal healing was not just a miracle for him. It was a doorway into a profound truth about the human condition. He began to see that disease is rarely just a physical event. Instead, it is the final expression of something much deeper, patterns of thought, emotions, and even karma carried across lifetimes. He explained it this way. The body is like the soil, but the seeds that sprout into health or illness are planted in the mind and heart. If the mind is filled with harmony, gratitude, and divine alignment, the body reflects that balance. But if the mind is heavy with anger, fear, resentment, or guilt, those vibrations eventually crystallize in the body as sickness. For example, he would say, chronic fear weakens the kidneys and adrenals. Unforgiveness and bitterness can weigh on the heart. Constant worry or mental restlessness can disturb digestion. Repressed grief often shows itself as chest or lung problems. These are not punishments, but reflections, signals showing us where the soul is out of balance. And beyond the emotions of this life, Yogananda taught that karma plays a vital role. A soul may carry unresolved lessons from past lives, and these may manifest as physical struggles in the present. Not because God is cruel, but because every challenge is a hidden opportunity to awaken, to purify, to grow closer to divine understanding. When we experience sickness, he said, we are not just fighting a body that has betrayed us, we are meeting a teacher. The illness itself becomes a guide, pointing us toward the inner work we must do. Yogananda reminded his students, your body is the canvas, but your thoughts are the brush. Each day, you are painting your health, or your disease, through the vibrations you hold. And this is why even though medical treatment has its place, true and lasting healing cannot come from medicine alone. Without addressing the root, which is our inner state of consciousness, we are only trimming the leaves while the roots remain untouched. This universal principle is both humbling and empowering. It means we are not victims of fate. Instead, we are active participants in shaping our health through the way we think, feel, and live. After revealing that the mind and soul shape the body, Yogananda did not leave us with theory alone. He gave practical methods to actively heal ourselves, tools to realign our inner vibrations with divine harmony. He often reminded his students, thoughts are not just passing clouds. They are living currents of energy. When directed with willpower and faith, they can transform the very cells of the body. So how do we do this in our daily life? Let's break it down into 4 key practices he taught. Yogananda emphasized that words alone are not enough. It is the feeling behind them that gives them power. He would guide his students to stand tall, breathe deeply, and repeat affirmations with absolute conviction, as if speaking directly to the subconscious mind. For example, I am strong, I am healthy, I am filled with divine energy. The power of God flows through every cell of my body. I am not this weakness, I am the soul, ever radiant, ever free. He said to chant them silently, aloud, or even sing them until every fiber of your being believes. Over time, the subconscious accepts these as reality, and the body follows. He explained that the body cannot heal if the mind is restless. In meditation, when thoughts slow down, the life force naturally withdraws from outward tension and begins to repair the body from within. Even a few minutes of sitting still, focusing on the breath, or silently repeating a holy name allows the nervous system to rest, the heartbeat to calm, and the cells to rejuvenate. He would often say, meditation is the royal road to health, for it lifts us above the turbulence of the mind into the healing vibration of spirit. Yogananda taught his students to consciously see themselves as already healthy. He advised closing the eyes and visualizing divine light flowing into the body, washing away disease, and filling every organ with vitality. He himself practiced this when healing his digestion. Instead of focusing on his weakness, he vividly imagined himself energetic, strong, and glowing with vitality. Eventually, the body reshaped itself to match that mental picture. This is why he would remind his disciples, "The body is plastic to the mind. Shape it with divine images, not with thoughts of disease." Finally, Yogananda insisted that true healing is not complete without bringing God into the process. He urged his students to pray deeply, not just for relief from suffering, but for alignment with divine will. He would say, "Pray not only, 'Lord, heal me,' but also, 'Lord, make me whole in body, mind, and soul. If this illness teaches me something, let me learn it, but give me the strength to rise above it." When surrender is combined with faith, the soul opens to receive higher energy, and that energy often manifests as healing, not just of the body, but of the spirit. These four methods, affirmation, meditation, visualization, and devotion, form a complete system. They do not replace medical help, but they empower us to participate in our own healing. They remind us that we are not powerless patients. We are divine souls learning to direct the immense creative energy within us. Yogananda's ultimate message was clear. Healing is not a miracle reserved for saints. It is the natural result of aligning thought, will, and faith with the higher laws of spirit. Now, all of these teachings might sound inspiring, but do they actually work? Yogananda himself is living proof that they do. As we saw earlier, he had suffered from chronic digestive weakness since childhood. No medicine, no tonic, no treatment could truly heal him. For years, he carried that quiet burden of fragility, often wondering if he could sustain the rigorous discipline of spiritual life. But the turning point came when he absorbed his guru's words. The body is manufactured and sustained by the mind. The mind is the creator. The body is its extension. That single truth changed everything. Instead of identifying with his weakness, he began to identify with strength. Instead of repeating silently, "I am weak, I am sick," he began to affirm with feeling, "I am strong, I am healthy, I am filled with divine energy." At first, it felt almost unreal, but slowly, something inside him shifted. His thoughts, which once carried the vibration of doubt, began to carry conviction. His feelings, once filled with helplessness, began to vibrate with faith. And then, it happened. Within just 2 weeks, Yogananda's digestion normalized. His frail body began to put on healthy weight. His energy levels soared. This was not the slow recovery of a patient under treatment. It was a dramatic reversal that even surprised those around him. People who had known him as fragile were stunned to see his newfound vitality. He later reflected that the real cure did not come from medicines, nor from any external remedy. It came the very moment he stopped believing in weakness and started believing in the truth of his own inner power. Yogananda's transformation is not just a story about his personal healing. It is a reminder for all of us. How many of us today live trapped by invisible chains of self-doubt, fear, or limiting beliefs about our health? How many times do we say, "This illness runs in my family, I will never get better," or "I am just weak, that's who I am"? Yogananda's story proves that such thoughts are not harmless. They are seeds that shape our reality. But when we replace them with affirmations of strength, vitality, and divine energy, those seeds blossom into healing and transformation. And remember, his lesson was not only about physical health. He often said, "True healing means to become whole, not just in body, but in mind, in heart, in soul." When we learn to master our thoughts, we don't just heal disease, we heal fear, we heal sadness, we heal the false belief that we are powerless. We begin to live with strength, joy, and divine confidence. So, my friends, what does Yogananda's story truly teach us? It teaches us that healing is not only about medicines, doctors, or treatments. Those may help, yes, but the ultimate medicine lies within you. It is the medicine of faith, the power of thought, the strength of your soul. Yogananda revealed that disease is not punishment, nor is it random. It is often a reflection of the vibrations we hold within. But here is the good news. Just as negative thoughts can weaken us, uplifting thoughts can heal us. The mind is not a passive observer. It is the creator, the director, the architect of your life. And when you align your mind with the higher truth, that you are a child of the divine, that you are filled with boundless life energy, your body, your emotions, and even your circumstances begin to transform. So I ask you today, what are the thoughts you have been holding about yourself? Do you see yourself as weak, as broken, as a victim of life? Or can you begin, right now, to replace those thoughts with something higher? Say to yourself, I am strong. I am whole. I am guided by divine light. My life is flowing with healing energy. And don't just repeat the words. Feel them. Believe them. Let them sink into every cell of your being. Because the moment you truly believe, you set into motion the hidden laws of healing that Yogananda and his guru spoke of. Yogananda himself wrote, in Autobiography of a Yogi, the greatest of all healers is the simple but mighty power of thought, when guided by faith and devotion. If it worked for him, why should it not work for you? Remember this. The mind creates, the body responds, and the soul directs. You are not helpless. You are not weak. You are a spark of the infinite, and within you lies the power to transform not just disease, but your entire destiny. If this teaching inspired you, I invite you to continue this journey with me. In whatever you do, don't let these insights fade. Carry them with you. Practice them. Live by them. Because your healing, your transformation, your awakening, it all begins with one powerful choice, the choice to believe.